God established three institutions to be unique gifts to the world. One in marriage, which is the building block of a family, and another is government, which is the builder and protector of orderly civilization. The third is the church, which is seen in Scripture as Christ's bride and his body. Now that's powerful imagery, and it shows the importance of churches in the purpose of God. And it's my privilege to serve on the staff of one such church, the First Baptist Church of High Springs, and to introduce and explain how First Baptist functions as a church. It's my prayer that this video will be beneficial to someone who's considering if becoming a member of this particular church is a part of God's will for them. Church membership. It's a way for the church and the member to recognize a partnership to fulfill the church's mission to love God, love others, and make disciples. All are welcome to attend our church and be a part of our church in different ways, but membership is for the baptized believers in Jesus who express a desire to partner with our mission. There's no cost to membership, but we recognize the following basic commitments that all Christians serving in a local church are called to follow. And this is our mission and purpose. First, to love God, to seek to honor God in my public and private life, grow in my relationship with God through church services and personal Bible study, to pray regularly for others in our church and for God's kingdom to grow. Matthew 22:37 says, love the Lord your God with all your heart. Second, to love others, to forgive and seek peace with all. Use words that build up and not tear down. Be mindful of the needs of others and help when possible. John 13:35 tells us, as I have loved you, so you must love one another. And then finally, make disciples. To serve in at least one ministry of the church. To give financially and in other ways as God enables me to support the work of the church. To connect with a small group or discipleship class. As we're reminded in Matthew 28 and verse 19, go and make disciples of all nations. Certainly there are some common questions that we want to address for you. The first one is church membership biblical? And there is no requirement in the Bible to have an official church membership list. However, the Bible does call on believers in a church to have a commitment to each other and a desire to support the mission of the church. Again and again, the Bible calls on believers within a church to love one another, forgive each other, carry each other's burdens, and many other one another's. The Bible also distinguishes between believers who are part of the church and those who may merely attend services. 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 24 says, if an unbeliever or an inquirer comes while everyone is prophesying, showing the difference between those. Paul also applies church authority to those inside the church and not on the outside, as outlined in 1 Corinthians 5 and verse 12. The only practical and efficient way to follow these biblical teachings on church involvement is to have a membership program that helps the church identify who is one of us so that we can support our fellow believers. Another question that comes up, what are the benefits of church membership? Well, first, you're helping our church live out the biblical teachings previously described. It helps us be more committed to you and to your spiritual development and the overall spiritual strength of the church. Church membership is also required for a number of leadership positions and some serving positions. It's necessary to vote in any business matter that comes before the church. It opens the door for you to fully participate in the ministry of the church. Another question that could arise, do I have to agree with all the beliefs of the church? We ask that you have read our beliefs and are a baptized believer in Jesus and agree to have a cooperative spirit with the teaching ministry of the church. And there are basic Christian beliefs that you must have to be a baptized believer in Jesus, but we do not require you to affirm every part of our belief statement to be a church member. We do ask that you not knowingly promote doctrines within our church that go against our belief statements. Another question, why do I need to be baptized by immersion? We know that many believers in Jesus come from a church background where baptism by immersion was not necessary. However, our church understands the teachings of Jesus and the New Testament to call on believers to be baptized by immersion as a visible symbol and a public way to identify as part of Christ's church. This is about our church wanting to follow Jesus with integrity. It is not in any way to question the sincerity of the beliefs of a prospective member. Another question would be, what do you believe? And First Baptist Church holds to the Baptist Faith and Message 2000. You can find it on the Southern Baptist website, sbc.net, or simply Google the Baptist Faith and Message 2000. And this covers our basic beliefs. But when we're teaching, we may have more detail in explaining a passage of Scripture or an individual topic. Now let me highlight some key information about First Baptist Church High Springs. Number one, self-governing. As a Baptist church, the membership of the church controls the decisions for the church, including selecting leaders, approving budgets, and approving the memberships. We have a quarterly business meeting and other special called meetings to conduct the business of the church. And as such, we have no earthly headquarters outside our own membership. Number two, cooperating for missions. As a Southern Baptist church, we cooperate with like-minded churches to support mission work all over the world and locally. A portion of our offerings support missionaries, disaster relief, education for pastors and missionaries, and much, much more. A third keynote is church leadership. Our church is led by pastors, deacons, and other committees. The membership recognizes and calls leaders to represent them and conduct the ministries of the church. Now, the church ultimately belongs to Christ, and the Bible is our authority for God's will in us. And our pastors seek to lead all areas of the church to know and understand God's direction for us. The deacon ministry includes men who are recognized for strong spiritual commitments and a love for God's people. They help build and support the ministry teams and services of the church that are a key part of leading the church to live out its mission. Other committees are elected to serve in various areas of the church. They include a stewardship committee, nominating committee, and of course, many others. Another distinctive is our constitution and bylaws. Our church is governed by our constitution and bylaws, which is available upon request for anyone to review, and it gives more details about the structure and the leadership of the church. It's our desire that this brief introduction to membership at First Baptist Church has been informative and clarifying. Now, of course, if you should have any questions that are not addressed in this introduction or need further explanation about an issue previously discussed, please contact the church, and we'll make every effort to ensure that that information gets to you. The local church is the genius of God for our personal maturity, service, and love for God. It's also the place for corporate worship, united efforts at obeying His teachings and building up one another. And if you believe that God has directed you to this local church, then we're humbled to play some role in your spiritual life. And we're excited to see what God will do through you in our fellowship of faith. So let me just review a membership checklist. Do you agree to the commitments in the church mission and purpose? We ask that you would complete the next steps form online so that we would have a way of getting to know you better and places where you could potentially be of service. We ask you to download and set up the Realm app. And this is a way for us to have information to be able to contact you personally with information about the church. We ask you that you meet with a pastoral staff member to review your membership status and to talk with a pastor to finalize plans for any remaining steps to membership, such as baptism or being introduced to the congregation.